why are progressives all of a sudden pro-NATO?
It's just because of Donald Trump.
Exactly. It's all whatever Trump is against, they're for, and vice versa.
Well, I think it's mostly Donald Trump, but also I think a part of it is the fact that they're so pro-establishment because they really did have control of the government. They had control of the bureaucracy, all the USAID money, all the money that went to progressive NGOs, and all the money that went to progressive policies that had been sent overseas. All of that money went through USAID and stuff. That was something that the progressives don't want to stop because that's part of why they were so influential, not just in the United States, but globally. So they don't want that to stop. So that's part of why they're so pro-bureaucracy. This is the left that used to be, anti-government and supposed to be, against the man, and et cetera. Once they became the man, they're,
they used to want to defund the police. Now they're crying over FBI.
Well, yeah, I mean, but the thing is, it was all a lie.
Yeah,
it was all BS.
They have no moral center.
That's true, but they were in a position of power, and just like any other group, they'll say that they're not, which is the Democrats' line. They've been saying that they're for the working class and stuff for ages and ages, all while they've literally owned all of the the impactful billionaires, except for a very few handful.
Of course. I say everyone loves freedom of speech until they're the ones in positions of power, and others are using that freedom of speech to attack their position of power. I say the disloyal thing that NATO and the West might have done was overthrowing the president back in 2014 in the Maidan Revolution. The other thing, when you understand what they're doing with these new additions, I think Finland was the second to most recent addition before Sweden to NATO.
Yeah,
so they're using
was the most recent, I believe.
They're using Finland as a depot for arms, just like they're using it as a military prostitute to just store weapons. And they do it knowing exactly what the reaction is going to be, and it exactly justifies specifically why NATO should not be expanding and why it is an act of aggression against Russia.
And I encourage everybody out there who is unfamiliar with these territories where these countries are, look up Kaliningrad, okay? Kaliningrad. Take a look at a map of Europe. Look at Poland. Easy to find. It's pretty big. Look right to the north. Hey, what's that? There's a Russian oblast right there. What's that doing? So when they argue that once Russia takes Ukraine, they'll invade Poland, it's like Russia already has access to Poland and Lithuania in the deeply and heavily militarized oblast of Kaliningrad. Not that it's it's the best military position, but they have access to the Baltic as well. So the one thing you would fear is not Ukraine and Poland. Belarus has already allowed Russia to bring nuclear weapons in and bring in troops. Belarus is there's a very small border barrier between Belarus and Kaliningrad. So if Russia was going to move in, they'd bring a bunch of troops into Belarus, probably move through Lithuania into Kaliningrad to create a corridor which they could transport troops and then have access to the Baltic. So these arguments, they're all nonsense. They're lying. The West, we want to shut Russia out. That's why all the Democrats and liberals and pro-war Republicans have been arguing that every Ukrainian that fights a Russian they're saying if Ukraine fights Russia, we won't have to. Basically, the people of Ukraine are cannon fodder to chuck at Russia to weaken them.
It was Tim Scott who said it during one of the presidential debates. We don't have to put any boots on the soil. We don't have to spill any American blood. It's a great deal for America. And that, it really irritated me when I heard it. I'm like, that's the most disgusting thing you can possibly say, is you're using other people's children to weaken the Russian military infrastructure. And that's exactly what they're doing. That was the plan all along. Just throw in as many Ukrainian soldiers as you can. If it weakens Russia, all the better. And it's none of our blood. So good for us.
Thanks for checking out this clip from Timcast IRL. Make sure to watch the show live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Subscribe to this channel, and we will see you all there.